I use the term rednekkid because it sounds very adjectival. I like the word rednekkid, but it's because it's funny, I guess. I don't know why it's funny to me, but so I have to use words that are funny to me. I'm a redneck, but not. Because you stick it, there's that category. I'm not country. I've always lived in the city. It's not an urban setting because there are still trees and grass, and it's not necessarily suburbia, but it's closer to suburbia than urban or rural. I like rural, small towns and country roads and stuff like. I'm not country though, and when I first was looking to pastoring a small church in, I'm thinking it was 2004 when I first mentioned it to some of my coworkers, and this guy was like, "You're not country enough." I said something to him. Might not even been the same day, but about how most household dirt is actually human skin. I was just throwing facts. I like to throw facts around. He's like, "Not out in the country. It's like all rock." And like, but that's not what I said. I said household dirt, household. So it's. But the point was, he was saying I'm not country enough to pastor a small church, and maybe he was right. Because a couple of years later, whenever I did interview at pastorate in a small church, didn't fit in. That's kind of another story, really, about being rejected as a pastor. But bottom line, I didn't fit in. I don't fit in very well. A couple of my buddies over the years, I've called rednecks. One of my friends, he grew a really big beard, and he loved fishing, and he talked about hunting all the time. I don't think he ever hunted, but he talked about hunting all the time. He talked about moonshine. He was married to his cousin. I mean, it was redneck, but he also worked in the call center. He also lived in the city limits. So I'm like, he's really not fitting that role. But part of him was fitting that role because he'd see pictures of things online. He's like, "That's funny. That's real. I do that. And they're really redneck things." And but he's not in my life now. And I should. That's another story. Also talking about him, but a big part of our contention, part of the friction between he and I, was he was more country than I was. I was like a city boy, wanted to be a country boy, and he said he was a country boy, but he was a poser, really. I think he was as city as I was. I thought. I mean, in my opinion, he's as city as I was, and I'm still pretty city. I have an aspiration of living out in the country, but it's not happening. It's not a thing yet. Now, my second buddy that I call him redneck all the time, because he's got some redneck sayings. He'll say something. "Well, that's colder than a frog's legs in the fire pit of, I don't know, kettle." But he just spews out sayings that I would have to think about before I'd say. And they're really country. And it sounds really country. And he and I talk about we talk about hunting and fishing and stuff like that. And I I get the feeling that he's actually done some of that stuff. Not like that from my previous friend, who I didn't get the feeling that he actually poser. Um, but this buddy that he works in the same place I do. Um, so it's custodial casino, and he lives in not a suburban setting. It's kind of almost rural. So it's getting there. But that redneckid, a stereotype, I just don't know that he fits it as much as maybe he fits it pretty closely. But I won't. I don't want to categorize him away from being my buddy. You know, he's still a pretty fun guy, and he likes a lot of people. And he's very friendly with a lot of people, and so that's, to me, that's less redneck. The stereotypical redneck is like, they're only there for their people, you know, or often their group, their family. And he's very inclusive of different kinds of people. At our workplace, and that's not the redneck stereotype to me. So that's a case of somebody not really fitting the stereotype 100%. 100% is big deal, big number. It's the highest number. You can't give 110% of your commitment or emotion. It's mathematically impossible to give 110% of anything. You know, we say that. 10%. Really? I don't know how much this is actually getting in a book now that I think about it. But I'm writing the book. Who am I? And it'll be coming out later this year. And I'm going to talk about all these different stereotypes.